Health and Wellness. Welcome to my channel. I am Sammarilee, ready to enlighten. So today we are doing some yoga in nature. I love doing yoga in natural elements. So if you want to practice some yoga with me today, grab your mat and let's get started. We'll first start off in Tadasana, mountain pose. Flip all four corners of the feet into the mat, arms out to the side, fingers spread wide, giving our body and room air to breathe, so legs about hip distance apart. And just breathe, inhaling, exhaling, releasing anything that happened before the practice, any stress, any worry, and anxiety. We'll leave it right here on the mat, grounded into nature. You can even visualize roots growing from the base of your feet to the core of the earth. Just surrendering anything that came before the practice. This moment is for you right now, mind, body, and spirit. And on your next inhale, we'll again raise our arm up towards the sky, taking a deep stretch, reaching through the fingertips. Exhale, releasing our hands down to our side. Now we'll take our right leg and cross it across the left leg. Pivot our hips forward. Then we'll extend our hands up again, reaching toward the sky, reaching through the fingertips. Then we'll interlace our fingers, turn them outwards. Just take a deeper bend, stretching back, and releasing our hands down to our side. Coming back center, get the opposite way. Take this left leg, cross it across the right, pivoting those hips forward, extending our hands up into the air, reaching up towards the sky. Then we'll interlace our fingertips, turn them outwards, and just a slight bend. Exhale, release. One more time, we'll inhale, reaching our fingertips up towards the sky. Then exhale, hands front of hips, fall forward. Diving down, allowing your fingertips to meet the mat. Breathing here. Come up halfway, bring your hands to your chin, allow a flat back here. Exhale, fold back down. Feel free to fold your arms here and just hang out, allowing our head to hang heavy. Just breathing in and out through the nostrils, letting the head hang. And don't lock your knees. Keep a soft bend in the knees. And on the next exhale, we'll bring our fingertips back down to the mat. And then inhale, reaching high up towards the sky again, hinging from the hip, rise up. Reaching through the fingertips, we'll take a slight back bend here. Exhale, releasing our hands down to the side. Now, since we're in nature, let's do some sun salutations. Come up to the top of the mat. And we'll start off in Tadasana, that mountain pose again. All corners of the feet planted deep down into the mat. We'll take a deep inhale, raising our arms up towards the sky, taking a slight back bend. And then we're going to hinge from the hips, fold forward, diving down, allowing those hands to dive with you. Bring your fingertips to the mat. Then we're going to press our hands flat to the floor, slightly bend our knees, step our feet or walk them back. Coming up into a plank, high plank, push-up pose. Then we will lower ourselves down to the mat, bringing the front of ourselves down to the front of the mat. Then we'll press up through our hands, lifting through the chest, lifting the shoulders back, pointing our chest towards the sun, head towards the sun. And our exhale, we'll lower ourselves back down, untuck our toes, come onto the balls of our toes, pressing the hands to the mat, shifting our weight to our hips up into an upside down V. Breathing here, walking ourselves out, inhaling, exhaling. We'll stay here for 5 breaths. Inhaling, exhaling. 2 more breaths. We can release the walking, just fold here, keeping the back straight. 2 more breaths. And on your next inhale, walk or step your feet up in between your palms, staying folded. We'll come up halfway again, flat back looking forward. Exhale, fold back down. Then we will, hands from the hips, rise up again, reaching our hands towards the sky. Taking that slight back bend at the top. Then come bring our hands above our head, closing them into a prayer mudra, and channeling that energy down to the center into our heart space. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale and releasing our hands down to the side, back into Dasana. Receiving all that energy we just put into our bodies. We'll do that one more time. Take a deep inhale, rising our hands up towards the sky, taking that back bend. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold and forward, diving down towards the floor. Here, we'll plant our hands firmly to the floor, bending at the knees, stepping our feet back, lowering down to the mat, tucking our feet, pushing through the arms, lifting up the chest, pointing our head towards the sky. Breathe. And on our next exhale, we'll untuck those toes, come onto the balls of the toes, pushing through the fingers, pushing our hips up towards the sky, into that upside down V, downward dog, walking ourselves out. Breathe. Inhaling, exhaling. Keeping that back flat. And on your next inhale, step, walk, or jump the feet up in between the palms. Staying folded. Then come up halfway. Bring your hands to your shin, flat back, look forward. Exhale, fold back down forward. Breathe. And on your next inhale, we'll hands from the hip, reaching through the fingertips all the way up. Taking that slight back bend. And at the top, bring our hands back to that prayer mudra and channel that energy down into our heart space. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale and release. Back into Dasana. Back in our strong stance. Breathing here. And releasing. Now we'll take our right leg and bring it back about a half an inch. Keeping both legs pointed forward. We'll go into a pyramid pose. So here, we'll have 2 options that you can do with your hands. We'll keep our hands straight to the side. And when you're ready, keep our chest lifted. And we'll hinge from the hip and dive down forward onto this left leg. And as we dive down, we'll allow our hands to fold forward. Breathing. And when you're ready, we'll lift ourselves back up and get the other side, stepping that right foot up. Get the left leg, extending that left leg back a half an inch. Chest lifted forward. And this time, if you want to, grab either side of the elbows. Chest lifted. And when you're ready, hands from the hips, fold forward. Diving down. Breathe here. And if you want to take it deeper, you can just bring your head and closer to your shin and breathe. And when you're ready, hands from the hip, rise back up, bringing that left foot up, and release our hands. Walking that out a little bit. Now we'll come back kind of like to the center of the mat. And we will sink low like we're sitting down. Then reach our hands high in a chair pose. Breathing here. Strong in our feet, strong in our body. Then we'll bring our hands down to a prayer mudra. Bring it to the heart center. Then we're going to gently twist open onto the right side. Breathing. Then come back to center and twist open on the left side. Then come back to center and rise up. Allowing ourselves to roll our shoulders back. Breathing in and out as we roll our shoulders back. And let's make our way down to the floor. So let's come into a seated position onto the mat. Here we will gently flex our feet forward and back. Just giving some mobility in our ankles and legs. Then let's have our feet in neutral position. And then we'll extend our hands up towards the sky and fold forward towards the feet. If you can touch your shins, that's fine. You can touch your ankles, that's fine. Or you can grab your feet. Just fold forward. And when you're ready, we'll release that. Then we're going to go into a boat pose. This is a great one for working the abs, connecting to the womb. So here, we will fold our knees, bend our knees, creating a V shape with our knees. And we'll grab a hold just the upper thigh, just behind the upper thigh. And then when you're ready, we'll lift up and make our lower legs parallel to the mat. And breathe here. Keeping our back straight and lifted. And if you want to take this pose deeper, remove the arms and bring it to the sides and just breathe. Inhaling, exhaling. And if you want to go a little bit more deeper in this pose, you can kick your legs straight out and continue to breathe and release them. And when we release them, bend the knees out to the side, creating a bow. And if you can grab your feet, that's fine. If you just want to have them open, it doesn't have to necessarily touch the mat. Just breathe and shake the knees open. Then we'll go back in boat pose one more time. We'll extend our legs straight. Bend again at the knees. grab a hold to just be at the upper thigh. And then when you're ready, lift up and have your legs parallel to the mat. And remember, if this is enough for you, stay here supported. If you want to go deeper, release your hands and make them parallel to the mat as well. Breathe, connected to the core, connected to our body. And if you want to go deeper, extend the legs straight out. Breathe and release. Again, bringing both feet together to touch, expanding the knees out wide, and breathe. And let's release our legs back straight. And come onto our backs, bringing our knees to the chest. Gently just roll yourself out. And allow yourself to roll over onto your right side. Bringing that left hand to the right, the left knee. And extend the left hand up and out and across. And let your head follow the chin. Breathe. And then come back to center. Bring your knees back to center. And get the opposite side, bringing your neck to the left side. And right hand coming up and over and across. And then bring yourself back to center, rolling on our back. And then allowing our legs to fold out straight into Savasana, conscious resting. And here we allow ourselves to integrate the energy that we just practiced and put into our body. This is where we give our body and mind a rest. So let's not create any thoughts. Just allow everything to pass. Let all the energies move. Feel free to stay here as long as you want, or you can begin to bring your awareness to your fingers and toes, wiggling them. Bring your knees back to your chest, and gently rock until you come up into a seated position. And at this time, I would like to bow to you and thank you for clicking on this video and sharing your practice with me today while I'm out in nature. If you like this video, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel. Until next time, peace, love, and wellness.